Hey team, I am Rowan Gold. Writer, artist, plush maker. I do a lot of the art for games under Team Manticore. I do a lot. I've been working on a Lovecraftian sci-fi drama novel, complete with a toxic love triangle and horrible fish monsters and existential medical dread. All the good stuff. And I call it Ugly Fish because, while that was just a working title at first, I never picked anything better, and now I'm too attached to Ugly Fish as a title. This isn't going to be the cover, since it doesn't, say anything about the story. I've had a lot of concepts over the years. I have been sitting on this story for a very, 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 very long time. I've mentioned before in another video that I've got characters that have been around forever, and then I eventually dive into the morgue and resurrect them for a book. This is one of those. So the main character, Danny, was originally a teacher who slept with a student and then killed himself. Whoops. And then he was a businessman with a secretary and something Eldritch Horrors. Very vague. It just kept getting worse for him as time went on. And the story was nothing. So then finally, Danny became a professor. Slightly older than Olivia, who is auditing his class for fun, but she's a veterinarian at the zoo. Ergo, no conflict of interest or power imbalance. Yay! The issue now is that she's married to Danny's best friend, who's not a particularly good friend, but he's also a professor at the college with Danny, Thomas. Thomas is an asshole. Of course, the real issue is that Thomas and Danny created a serum that's not okayed by the FDA, and teens have been using it to get high. A violent gang of miscreants called the Doolies have also become interested in the drug. The serum was initially meant to be for, medical purposes. They had really good intentions, which is, of course, the way to pave the road to hell. So what happens when the drugs fall into the wrong hands and the fish experiments get too big to control? Well, what happens is that I need to come up with a decent cover for this book. Gonna do some thumbnails, which are just tiny versions of pictures to get a quick sense of the composition. Do I want to go more abstract and capture the feelings or general aesthetic of this book, or do I want a more literal image? It can be helpful to look at similar titles in the genre, because then readers who liked one thing would know they might like mine too, but I don't want to make anything too similar to anything else. So I gotta find a balance there. And I don't want to give too much away, but I want the cover to be enticing too. Other notable characters include Sebastian, a trapper who is also a very nice man. He's the nicest guy in this entire book. And his fiancée, Iris, who works at the courthouse and dreams of being mayor, and Iris is Olivia's best friend, outside of Olivia's dog, Fluffybutt. Okay, so let's combine 2 or 3 that my buddy Danny likes. Cut an N out of, Danny as in the main character of this book, and that's my buddy. Different person. Do not confuse the two. Both named Danny. I've tried to do this kind of concept before, where we're looking out the monster's mouth to the main character, but that was, many moons ago when I was, teenage? I don't even know. I was young. So here we'd have tentacles going around his eye as though his whole face and body have been sucked in and he's about to go into the mouth. None of the fonts used in any sketch today is the final one. I need to point that out. This one is an idea that Rob extrapolated from the fishbowl sketch, and I like it as a concept a lot. Gonna steal just this title bit here. And again, Rob and I will make a new font for the final cover of Ugly Fish, whatever that actually looks like. I'm leaning this one, because again, I like the concept more. I'll just need to make sure that the final doesn't look like a Goosebumps book, as this is very much a story for adults. It'll help if this picture in the upper left corner looks like the 3 main characters and not like a couple with their child. Goldfish in the bowl, and the shadow of the fish being an eldritch monster with teeth. Yeah. Okay. Sketch for Ugly Fish cover. Probably. Again, just the sketch. I have no idea when this book will come out, so I won't tell you to look for it. Instead, you can find my graphic novels, my comic collections, my neo-noir mystery novel, and yes, I'm working on a sequel for that as we speak, over at teammanticore.com. Link in description. And did I mention we have a newsletter? If you sign up at the bottom of teammanticore.com for updates, you get discounts on stuff, and it's all once a month, so it's not like gonna clog your inbox or anything. But it's a fun way to keep tabs on what I'm doing, and see new products, and see new things that we're interested in, and events that we're doing, yada yada, so on and so forth. And rock on!